this video. I hope all of you are doing well. In this video, we will practice some SQL questions to understand SQL better. In this video, we will use the same table for all the questions. And the name of the table is Station Table. But before starting with the questions, let us look at the table description. We can see the structure of the table. There are 5 columns present in the station table along with their data types. These columns are ID, city, state, lat.n, long W. Lat.n stands for northern latitude and long W for western longitude. The problem statement is, consider P1, A, B and P2, C, D to be 2 points on a 2D plane. A happens to equal the minimum value in northern latitude, lat.n in station. B happens to equal the minimum value in western longitude, long W in station. C happens to equal the maximum value in northern latitude, lat.n in station. D happens to equal the maximum value in western longitude, long W in station. Query the Manhattan distance between points P1 and P2 and round it to a scale of 4 decimal points. So in this question, we have to calculate the Manhattan distance using SQL. First, let me tell you how the Manhattan distance is calculated. The Manhattan distance between 2 points is calculated as the sum of the absolute differences between the two vectors. In a plane with P1 at x1, y1 and P2 at x2, y2, it is modulus of x1 minus x2 plus modulus of y1 minus y2. Let us discuss the solution. According to the definition that I have just told you, x1 is the minimum value in northern latitude. x2 is the maximum value in northern latitude. y1 is the minimum value in western longitude. y2 is the maximum value in the western longitude. The basic intuition to solve this question is first calculate the difference between x1 and x2 and the difference between y1 and y2. Then we will add the modulus of x1 minus x2 and the modulus of y1 minus y2. For the modulus, we will use the absolute function. The ABS function returns the absolute value. In simple words, we can say that it removes the negative value. For example, the modulus of 3 minus 2 is equal to plus 1 and the modulus of 2 minus 3 is equal to plus 1 as well. Let us discuss the solution of this problem. We want to round the answer to 4 decimal points. By substituting the values in the formula, the query would look something like this. Here, the min and max functions are used to find the minimum and maximum values for the lat.n and long W columns, and the ABS function is used to finding the absolute difference. And at last, we rounded off the result up to 4 decimal places. Well, our SQL query is ready. Let us submit the code and check whether it is correct or not. So I have submitted the query and you can see the success message on the compiler. I hope all of you have understood the problem. So let us move to the next question. The problem statement is, consider P1, A, C and P2, B, D to be 2 points on a 2D plane where A, B are the respective minimum and maximum values of northern latitude, lat.n, and C, D are the respective minimum and maximum values of western longitude, long W in station. Query the Euclidean distance between the points P1 and P2 and format your answer to display decimal digits. In this question, we have to find the Euclidean distance using the SQL. So let me tell you how the Euclidean distance is calculated. The Euclidean distance between 2 points P1 and P2 is calculated by using the formula square root of B minus A into 2 plus D minus C into 2. Square root of the sum of B minus A square and D minus C square. To calculate the square root, we will use the sqrt function, and to calculate the square, we will use the power function. The power function in SQL returns the value of a number raised to another number where both the numbers are passed as arguments. Let us look at the syntax of the power function. Power x, y, where the first parameter x is the base and the second parameter y is the exponent. For example, select power 4, 2 will return 16 as the square of 4 is 16. Now pause the video and try to solve this question. Let us discuss the solution of this problem. So we want to round the answer to 4 decimal points. Here again we used the max and min function to calculate the maximum and minimum values, and then we used the power function to calculate the square of the result. And then with the help of the sqrt function, we calculated the square root. So our SQL query is ready. I hope you have understood it really very well. I have submitted the query and we can see the success message on the compiler. It means that our query is absolutely correct. Brilliant, guys. So we will solve one more question. Let us read the problem statement. The problem statement is: query the list of city names from station that either do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels. Your result cannot contain duplicates. In this question, we will use the OR condition because we want the city names that either do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels. As we do not want duplicates in our result, in the first line we will write select distinct city. We are using the station table, so in the next line we will write from station. We will define a filter condition on the city column and will match the vowels with the first letter and the last letter of the city. To extract the first letter and the last letter, we will use left and right functions respectively. In the previous videos, we learned about the left and right functions. So in the last line, we will write where left city, 1 not in A, E, I, O, U, or right city, 1 not in A, E, I, O, U. So this problem can be solved using this query. Select distinct city from station where left city, 1 not in A, E, I, O, U, or right city, 1 not in A, E, I, O, U. The SQL query is all ready. Let us submit the code. You can see the success message on the compiler. It means that our SQL query is absolutely correct. Finally, we have solved our last problem with this video. By now, you must have understood about the ABS function, SQRT function, and the power function. To iterate, ABS function returns the absolute value. SQRT function is used to calculate the square root, and the power function is used to calculate the exponents. So I hope you have understood all these queries. We will meet soon in the next video. Till then, keep practicing and keep learning. Bye.